Go and grab your Beware merchandise today. There are t-shirts, sweatshirts, phone cases, and more, all with the link down in the description below. You do not want to miss out. What's up, guys? It's Carson back here on Toxic Gaming today with something a little different. We didn't have time for this team builder for week 10 of the PPL, playing against RTK and the Portland Timbers, by the way. Didn't have time to go up yesterday for the team builder, as we had to play yesterday. He had a crazy work schedule for the weekend, and I was gone some of the weekend, so what we had to do. But this beginning section will be the team builder, where I go more in-depth over the entire team. And his draft and everything like that. There'll be a little timestamp somewhere as to where to go for the battle. When I put that timestamp, there will be like a little what do you call it? A mini run through the team for those who skipped this part, just so they have an idea of what I'm doing, but just like normal. But I'm gonna go through the team in depth here. First, we have his draft being Tapu Fini, Nidoqueen, which is a Super Z user, Dragonite, his one of his other Z users, Porygon 2, Kartana, another Z user, Arcanine, Raikou, and Frostlass. Fairly small team in what the system allows you to do, but it's pretty concise. I know during the draft and everything, people were really hating on his team by having like I think it was especially Nidoqueen with Tapu Fini. Like you're gonna set up T-spikes and all this stuff. Like it was really weird that some people thought it was a weird mix and match of mons for a draft, but it actually works in other ways. So to start off, we have Mojo Raleigh, our Charizard X, coming this week with Dragon Claw, Roost, Toxic, and Thunder Punch, 252 in HP, 44 in defense and Impish Nature, and then 212 in special defense. Basically, what I want this Zardex to do is to Toxic specifically Arcanine and Raikou and/or Porygon 2. It's not the thing that really needs to throw Toxic on Porygon 2, but if it can, great. I'm more built to withstand Surf, and Surf's from Tapu Fini, Earth Powers from Nidoqueen, random Hidden Power, Ground, Hidden Power, other Water, weird stuff from Arcanine, or from Raikou, taking nothing from Frostlass, and then be able to kind of try to Toxic Stall Porygon 2. Taking minimal from that, as well as being able to take at least one hit guaranteed if I'm above, I think, like 75% from Dragonite. That's not obviously a Z move. But really, that's kind of what Charizard's here to do. Thunder Punch, Dragon Claw is the coverage I need. I really don't need a fire move to really take on Kartana on this. Dragon Claw does enough for what I need it to do. And I have other things that can take on Kartana as well. A little thing, that's a meme coming up as well. But really, Dragon Claw, Thunder Punch, Dragon Claw base stab to do damage to everything not named Tapu Fini, and Thunder Punch does that to Tapu Fini. So, and even with no attack investment, I believe Megazard X with this Thunder Punch was like a 80-something% chance for a defensive, defensive Tapu Fini to get 3-hit KO'd from Thunder Punch, while his Moonblast is not doing much to me at all. It isn't a 3-hit KO for defensive, and I don't think Surf is either. So that's really what I wanted this Zard to do, to be able to take on Tapu Fini 1v1 the best I could, and then take on Porygon 2 1v1, toss Toxics on Arcanine and Raikou, and put his team on a timer. Next up, we have Alexa Bliss, our Milotic with leftovers, similar to last week with Rest, Sleep Talk, Ice Beam, and Scald, with 252 in HP, 124 in defense, and Bold Natured, 108 in special defense, and then 24 in speed. Basically, this Milotic is, once things are toxic, this Milotic is built to sit in and let the toxics start racking up. Take a hit, get maybe some damage off, take the second hit, rest. Sleep Talk the 2 turns, rest. Sleep Talk the 2 turns, rest. That's what this Milotic is meant to do, is to make toxics start racking up. With the spread I have, it's really the best I can do to take on Fini, Nidoqueen, P2, and Raikou on the left side. I probably could have thrown a different nature because I'm going to be having Marvel Scale and Rest boost my defense anyway. But the fact that Z Dragonite is such a problem, and if Kartana gets 1 kill and is at +1, that's all a huge problem as well. Even if he's locked into not Leaf Blade. Like, that's still a huge problem. I need something that can come in reliably against those two And with Arcanine being there, even I'm expecting a more defensive Arcanine, I can still come in on Arcanine. That's kind of what Milotic needed to do in this game, is just kind of sit in front of the team, rest, and sleep talk. That's really what Milotic is here to do, and be switch-ins and put a little bit of pressure in on him. Next we have, yes it is, our Dugtrio, not shiny this week, with Focus Sash, Earthquake, Stealth Rock, Stone Edge, and a Hidden Power Fire, 208 in attack, 76 special attack, and then 224 and a Hasty Nature. And the idea of this Dugtrio is I'm going to lead with it. Like my plan lead is Dugtrio, because if he leads with Raikou, I can take any move Raikou wants to do, and I can Earthquake it. I can trap it in and Earthquake it really nice. If he tries to revenge later on down the line with say Kartana, and it's like not a Scarf Kartana, if it's a Z move or a Life Orb Kartana, I can come in with Dugtrio, trap it, and then kill up to, he has to be, I believe, 72 HP investment in Kartana to not die from this Hidden Power Fire. And the reason I did that type of creep with 76 in special attack is because if he go with Kartana, there's like a Life Orb Swords Dance set to creep Zaradex, then he can put the extra 68 in HP. Well, this kills the 68 Kartana, and if he's anything under that, I kill it with the Hidden Power Fire as well. So it's kind of a weird way to trap Kartana and kill it with a Hidden Power Fire Dugtrio. I want to say hopefully it can work out. I believe it's worked out one other time I've seen in League format, but something that's really cool to do with it. And then if I can get Stealth Rocks up, it helps a lot to break out that multi-scale from Dragonite. Damage over time, especially as we're toxic in things, it can really, really help out for us. If he leads Nidoqueen to try to get his own rocks up, and I lead Dugtrio, I immediately put pressure on that Nidoqueen if it's not Shed Shell. Because that means if he sets up his rocks, I get a free 2-hit KO on Nidoqueen without him taking any damage. If he damages me to break the Sash, then I get a free 2-hit KO and he doesn't get rocks up. Or then I get a 2-hit KO and he doesn't get rocks up. That's really what Dugtrio's here for, to put really early game pressure on whatever he decides to lead with. I expect if Nidoqueen or Raikou are there to want to be one of those two for his leads, maybe Kartana or Tapu Fini to try to like counter the Dugtrio lead. But again, if it's Kartana, I kill with the HP Fire. If it's Tapu Fini, I can Stealth Rock and get out of there, or a Hard Switch out. And then if it is a Tapu Fini, I'll hard switch into our next mon, Pompey, the Garbodor. He's coming back with Black Sludge, Toxic Spikes, Rock Blast, Gunk Shot, and Protect. 252 in HP, 204 in defense, and a Bold Nature, and then 52 in special defense. Basically, their Garbodor is kind of my good switch in to Kartana. If he's not packing a Psycho Cut, Garbodor can come in here on pretty much anything he wants to do, and I get Toxic Spikes up. Now, it may seem weird, why do you have Toxic Spikes when he has a Nidoqueen that can easily just come in on this thing? That's what the Dugtrio is for. If the Dugtrio can face Nidoqueen 1v1, the turn 1 leads, and take out Nidoqueen early, I can freely set up Toxic Spikes. Fini will get Toxic, as Toxic Spikes go before Misty Terrain, so that'll get Toxic on that. Porygon 2 will be Toxic as long as Misty Terrain's not coming up. Everything then at that point gets Toxic on switch in if the Toxic Spikes stay around and Misty Terrain's not there. So it's really important to get T-Spikes up after Nidoqueen is dead, and hopefully Dugtrio can kill Nidoqueen early on to do so. Rock Blast is basically for Dragonite. I can break the multiscale and then do more damage over time rather than just hit him once with Gunk Shot to break multiscale. I believe 5 hits should drop him round half-ish or lower if he's not like attack or HP invested. Or the problem with this would be if he is a weakness policy set, it would be really bad to have Rock Blast, but I kind of have to run with it. And then Protect is, again, we have Toxic on Zard and we have T-Sparks on Garbodor and stuff. With Milotic being able to sit in front of there, I need Garbodor to have Toxic, or to have Protect, to be able to get that Toxic damage to start racking up, so that maybe Milotic can get some kills. Garbodor might pick up a kill or two, something like that. Next we have We the People, our Braviary, which is Choice Scarfed and Defiant, with Brave Bird, Facade, Rock Slide, U-Turn, 4 in HP, 252 in attack, and then 252 Jolly in speed. Now, the reason this Braviary is this way is because with us doing, with 3 of the last 4 being Toxic Stalling type things, it opens the door for that once towards the end of the game things are low, Brave Bird from Braviary can do a hell of a lot of work. Like, it's the point where he can all of a sudden hit very hard and clean the game for us. if he brings in the Arcanine and it's Intimidated Arcanine, we're gonna get an attack boost rather than attack drop. So again, Brave Bird will literally hopefully be our saving grace towards the end. Facade, in case he tries, maybe the P2 gets a random tri-attack, hacks on us. He brings in Arcanine, but he can live the Brave Bird and then tries to burn us. We do have Facade for that, so we can actually get some use out of a burned Braviary. And then I had Rock Slide. I was really debating between Rock Slide and Superpower. And it was basically like Superpower, I could hit Kartana and Porygon too. But if he brings in Frostlass, which could be a switch into this, I do nothing to it. Or I put Rock Slide on, I hit Arcanine super effectively, I hit Dragonite super effectively, and I hit the Frostlass super effectively. So it's like, I felt like it was a better call to have Rock Slide over Superpower for this game, just to hit more super effective than hit 2 super effective that are really annoying, and then have the risk of just completely whiffing on one of the mons. It seemed like a better trade-off to me. And then U-turn for initiative if we need to. Get some dual chip damage, things like that. And then finally, we have Rift Flare the Sneasel with a Chilean Berry, or Chillon Berry, I don't know what the fuck it said. With Ice Shard, Knockoff, Poison Jab, and Icicle Crash, 4 in HP, 252 in attack, and then 252 Jolly in speed. Basically, this Sneasel before the game started and everything, before we were going to do it, it was Z Poison Jab to be able to just take out Tapu Fini easy. But I was talking with a few people in college. Shoddy, he mentioned, one of the other D1 coaches mentioned, why not have Chilean Berry because of E-Speed Dragonite and E-Speed Arcanine, for the fact of, say, Dragonite's low health, and I'm low health, or I'm, say around like 75% health, he's going to try to E-Speed me to kill me before I can Ice Shard and kill him. Well, the Berry, I believe the calc goes somewhere like he needs to be at least +2 attack and Adamant for E-Speed to kill me with the Berry. So it gives me that way that he can out-prioritize me, but I'll still kill him with Ice Shard. I won't die to the E-Speeds. Knockoff, again, very nice staple move. The speed I'm going with, because I'm max, I will speed tie with Raikou. I couldn't afford to creep anything and run the risk of Raikou, or Calm Mind, timid Raikou just running through me. I needed something that could force a speed tie and either force a switch out of him not wanting to risk it, or if I'm able to get him low enough and Knockoff can do, I think it's like 50 to 65%, I get a Knockoff and kill the Raikou after winning a speed tie. That threat is gone. I needed to have the speed tie rather than try to creep anything else. Icicle Crash, it's basically just, good damage. It's good damage for Nidoqueen, good damage on Raikou and P2 after a Knockoff. Can, probably Icicle Crash plus Ice Shard. Can kill a Dragonite if he, for some reason, switches it in, and I don't have rocks up. So Icicle Crash do the nice, good damage, even through multi-scale, and then Ice Shard to pick up the kill. Be really nice to have. Just a good overall stab move. But that's our team for now. We'll go over to the battle, and there will be a quick little recap of the team, just for people who skipped that part. So let's get right on to it. So for those of you who did decide to skip the beginning part and everything, that's no problem. We're going to get into the battle here. A quick will run through just so you guys know what was on the team. We have Sash Dougie with Hidden Power Fire and, stuff to be able to pick off Kartana. We have Charizard X, it's a Toxic Roost. Bulky Zard X. We have Rest Talk Milotic again. Basically kind of Toxic Saw a little bit with Milotic while other things are already Toxic. T-Spikes, Rock Blast, Gunk Shot, Protect, Garbodor to get T-Spikes up once Nidoqueen is gone, and then Rock Blast to break multi-scale and do good damage to Dragonite. Scarf, Braviary with Rock Slide over Superpower, because they're supposed to do more damage to other parts of his team super effectively. And then good old Chillon Berry, whatever it's called, the normal reducing berry with Sneasel to basically be able to take any E-Speed that's not from like a +3 or +2, what's it called, Dragonite, and we can live the E-Speed and then kill him with an Ice Shard follow-up, because he'll prioritize us. Now, looking over RTK's team, what he actually brought, bringing the Nidoqueen, Kartana, Arcanine, Dragonite, Tapu Fini, and Raikou. I was pretty much, this was the exact team I thought he was going to bring. There was, I think, maybe 1 or 2 changes, and it was if Nidoqueen was there or not. It was either going to be like Nidoqueen or P2, one of the two. It didn't seem like he would bring both. Maybe Arcanine would have been off for P2 as well, but if he went that, then he was going like hella bulky with those two. But when I saw this, I knew, okay, 4 of his 5 are weak to ground, and or weak to ground in the sense of Dougie's Earthquake can do a lot of damage. The one that's, I guess, not very weak to ground, I think it's neutral actually, is Kartana, but we have the Hidden Power Fire for that. So I wanted to lead with Dougie, trap whatever was in there, and see what was going on with it. I was really happy to not see P2, because fuck that motherfucking duck. But I was really interested in see like what the Dragonite was gonna do. I expect at this point something like Z-Fly with DD, things like that. Maybe the defensive Finny with Defog or Taunt to stop me from doing what I want to do with my team. I'm still expecting to Calm Mind Raikou. It's kind of what does the real good dicking to my team. And then a bulky Arcanine, or a bulky and or Scarfed Arcanine. Could be Scarfed, but I wouldn't expect it to be. I expect it to be more intimidating bulky. But without any further ado, that's our teams in the matchup as it looks like. So we're going to get on right into the battle. Okay, guys, we're going right into the battle here. We are challenged, being challenged, whatever, by our TK. I decided, again, lead Dougie was kind of the best move on my end. I was Sash. I could do whatever I needed to. He did lead Nidoqueen, which I was really, really excited to see. And really early, what I needed to do was get damage on this Nidoqueen. And I decided to Earthquake first turn rather than set up Stealth Rocks. And I was praying that he hit me this turn. Because if he did, then he wouldn't have Rocks up the next turn, as we almost killed him right out. And he does decide to go for the Earth Power. So we actually will be taking that easily, thanks to Sash. Well, easily is relative here. And we will be able to pick up the kill with Dougie on this Nidoqueen early without him getting Rocks up. That's huge for Zard to stay alive later down the line. For Garbodor and Milotic to not have to try to heal or protect early. Huge for us. And he goes right on into his Kartana here. Now here I was kind of worried, could I switch out or save Dougie? I felt like no, I needed to try to do the Hidden Power Fire shenanigans. This was the best time than any. And he goes for, I think it was Smart Strike, or I don't remember exactly what it was. But he does end up killing Dougie here, which was kind of sad. And I decided to go right on into Garbodor because, I mean, this thing is not actually at all able to really touch me. And he's going to have to switch out here. And that showed me that he was Scarfed because he went ahead of Dougie. So I knew I could bring in Garbodor. I get a free round of T-Spikes up. He brought in Dragonite, which was kind of iffy. But I was able to get the T-Spikes up, which was really nice for me. With Dragonite in on here, he will hit me with the Thunder Punch, which does do a lot of good damage to me. But I get my second round of T-Spikes. I was a little worried for Earthquake, but I knew I T-Spikes 2 rounds of that to get Toxic on Tapu Fini coming in was more important than keeping Garbodor alive totally. And now I know I can take Thunder Punches from him. And maybe he thought I was going to switch out, but due to the second one, this shows me that he doesn't have Earthquake. I get parried, which kind of sucks. But we decided to get the Rock Blast going here, and we're going to one-break the multi-scale, do what we needed to do with Garbodor, and we're going to see we're actually going to get all 5 hits here, and we're going to bring him really, really low, right under half, so that he can be revenge killed pretty easily down the line by Sneasel and or by good old Charizard. But I'm going to try to save, he's going to try to save his Dragonite and switch out, going back into Kartana. And here I went for Protect to see what he was going to do to me. I got paralyzed. Kind of sucks. But now he doesn't really know that I have Protect because he switched out and when I didn't go first. So I go for it again here, and I get paralyzed the second time. I wanted to see what he would, if he had Psycho Cut or not, but he actually goes for Night Slash, which shows me he doesn't have Psycho Cut. So I know I can take any one move here. I can bring Garbodor back in and to take this thing on. So I decided to Protect. I was going to get as much health as I needed to. I didn't think I would get paralyzed 3 times in a row. He goes for Night Slash, gets protected, getting Garbodor up to the max amount of health that I can do, because hopefully I can take a Surf or Moonblast later down the line from Tapu Fini. Now I decided to switch out, keep Garbodor for later, and go into Alexa Bliss. I can come in any point on Kartana as long as he doesn't lock himself into Leaf Blade. He's still locked into Night Slash. He's going to do that damn thing. And he's going to get the crit here, which really sucked. It was that point where that really started putting pressure in my head of when I needed to click rest with Milotic. But he's going to switch out here and go into his Tapu Fini, and he's going to get Toxic because thank God T-Spikes goes before Misty Terrain and or Misty Surge, whatever, you know what it is. But at this point, I'm going to Scald. I just wanted to get damage. Maybe I didn't know if he would go into Tapu Fini immediately. Maybe go into D-Knight for some reason, thinking I was going to rest or recover and get free hits on me. So I wanted to Scald and get damage on whatever was coming in. And if you would have stayed in with with Kartana to try to just Night Slash me all the time. I could have had the chance to burn him. Would have been really cool. But at this point, I might win a 1v1 against this, and I kind of want to see what he was going to do, and this time he defogs away the T-Spikes. Could have gone into Braviary and got a cool little Defiant boost there, but I decided not to. I decided just to Quick Scald, because that's going to do the damage I needed to do. I felt like because he was Toxic, and I have Rest, I could 1v1 him. Even if he did, for some reason, have Toxic or Taunt, I could easily switch then out on the, on the Taunt, and if he had Toxic, he would have to wait until the Misty Terrain was gone, and by that point, he's so weak from Poison, it almost wouldn't be worth it. So here, he decides to hard switch out, going into Raikou. Very, very good aggressive switch on his part in case I was just going to Scald again. And this was the point where I actually decided to switch out as well, pull a switch out and go into Garbodor, because I figured I could take the Moonblast or Surf and then kill with a follow-up Gunk Shot, was my hope. But when I saw the Raikou, I did the calc and I couldn't protect to live, so I was going to die from Thunderbolt even if I protected to get that little bit of health back. There was no point. If he would have set up Calm Minds on my protect, then that would have sucked. So I went for a Gunk Shot there to get damage, but now I go into Zard because I know I can take anything this thing can throw at me. I'm going to Mega Evolve. I'm going to start, ready to do the things Zard needs to do. I believe I went for Thunder Punch this turn in case he went into Tapu Fini. It could have been a good switch for him, but instead he reveals Hidden Power, and due to the damage, as we see here, does almost a third, does Hidden Power Ground. So the Thunder Punch here is going to do chip damage to this thing. It's not going to do much. Funny thing is, I'm pretty sure Dragon Claw in the Misty Terrain still did more than Thunder Punch to this. But now I can do so much to him with Thunder Punch, but I knew he was probably going to stay in and 3 kill me with Hidden Power, so I needed to Roost here rather than try to Toxic after the trainer was gone. Again, this is the thing that Zard needs to Toxic the most on his team. This and Arcanine. So here I decided to Toxic on this Volt Switch. I figured he could do whatever damage for me. I could get the Toxic off on this, and it'd be really great. I could live the 2 Hidden Power Grounds from here. He decides to Volt Switch into the Arcanine and get the Intimidate drop. But I actually am going to go for Toxic, and Toxicing this, again, is right on the plan. And it does land, and thank God it does. In case this is a bulkier Arcanine. Now, I didn't think he was going to have anything really to touch me, really, at all. I figured he was just going to come in for the Intimidate, because I can Dragon Claw, and I believe even at -1, it's a chance to 3 a KO. So I decided to Roost, expecting him to switch out, get me back up to full health and things like that. I expected him to switch out here and just, for the Intimidate stuff, but he went for Wild Charge. I'm guessing he thought I was going to go into Milotic, and so I realized here I'm not taking anything from this Wild Charge. He's definitely a defensive Arcanine, and I can win this 1v1 pretty handily with Zardex. Now that he's Toxic and having Roost, I can win this 1v1. So here I went for Dragon Claw. It was going to do more than Thunder Punch would, even at -1. So he goes for the Bulldoze here, and this is where I kind of forgot. I kind of forgot during the course of the game that Bulldoze does the speed drop here. I just saw the damage that I did. I'm like, fuck, I can live all the Bulldozes in the world from this thing and Roost up and Toxic Stall this in Arcanine to nothing. Like, I can do that with this Zard pretty easily. So what he decides to do is he decides to switch out here going into his Tapu Fini now, and I pulled a little bit of a play. I wanted to see how much Thunder Punch could do to the Arcanine, but I figured, if he brings in Tapu Fini, I could do some really good things to that by clicking Thunder Punch this turn, and thank God I did with him going into Fini. We're going to see that's going to do a solid probably 25 to 30%, and when he's going to get the leftovers, yes, but he also will be getting the toxic damage, and I can probably Roost myself up and Toxic Stall him down. Here with him being outspeeding me, I was confused because I forgot about the Bulldoze speed drop, and I was really confused on how he outsped me because I figured I would Roost to full and then do it like that. But we see the Moonblast isn't even doing that much. He probably would have Quick Surf instead of Moonblast anyway, and it wasn't doing much to me at all compared to what he was going to be Toxic Stalled with this Roost Toxic Zard. I almost went with Roost Protect Zard, but I needed Thunder Punch and Dragon Claw. Here, he's just going to keep going for damage on Zard. I feel like this was all he could really do here. He's showing he doesn't have Taunt to not have me Roost. So I'm just roosting on this thing all day. And by him not taunting right now, it tells me that later down the line, if I need to against this, I can quick rest against this with Milotic. and not be worried about taunted and being stuck in sleep without being able to quick sleep talk. With, what do you call it, the poison damage here, I kind of figured that Thunder Punch would kill, but he decides to switch out. I didn't know if he was going to save this or not due to how low it was, and he goes into his Dragonite. I thought Thunder Punch could kill, and especially after Toxic on the Tapu Fini, so I went for Thunder Punch. It did a decent chunk to this, and here I was expecting Dragon Claw, not Outrage. And found out later this was a Banded Dragonite Outrage, and we were able to live it and kill with the follow-up Dragon Claw. I almost roosted here. I probably should have switched out into Milotic, instantly seeing Dragonite, but I'm okay with it. We still killed Dragonite. Charizard X gets another kill. But now with the Misty Terrain gone and me so low with Zardex, this Raikou can come in and just revenge kill me with the Hidden Power Ground. I thought about pulling the ballsy play and going into Braviary here, but he went for T-Bolt anyway, so I'm almost glad that I just chose to stay in and not drop Braviary early, because then I wouldn't have had anything. I wouldn't have had Zard been able to roost up later. But now I go in with Sneasel. I have to win speed ties with him, and he decides to switch out here. With him being a shiny Raikou, there was a possibility of him having Aura Sphere and having to be rash-natured, so he wouldn't have even been a speed tie. So it was kind of him bluffing that, made me think he wasn't max speed. I went for knockoff because it was going to do hurts to everything anyway, and he brought in the Tapu Fini, probably just to sack it off. Probably thought the poison would kill it this turn, but a second knockoff here will simply kill it. I didn't need to go for Icicle Crash and risk missing. I didn't need to show that I had Poison Jab. There's no reason for me to. I could have just for style points, but he now decides to go into his Arcanine, which will give me the Intimidate drop, and is annoying because now I'm going to have to switch out of Sneasel. I'm forced to switch here pretty much after that Intimidate, and I'm going to go into Milotic. I figured I can take hits from this thing, even the Wild Charge and everything like that, and be able to rest. He went for Morning Sun here, which was really interesting to me. That tells me he probably only has Wild Charge, Bulldoze, and then a Fire move, and then Morning Sun. If he doesn't have the Fire move and had Will-O-Wisp instead, he has no Fire move, which was really interesting to see if that's true from the Arcanine. But from this much health, I knew I could probably Scald this turn and get really good damage on this Arcanine, and or with crits and everything, kill it, or toxic damage racking up. So I decided to go to Scald this turn, and he actually goes for his Wild Charge here. I had no idea how much this would really do from a defensive guy, and it does a hell of a good chunk. And thanks to the recoil damage, because Milotic has a fuck ton of health, Scald here is going to do a hell of a lot of damage as well. I could kill him with the follow-up Scald and everything like that. He might not be. It's a point where I don't think he could kill me with Leftovers Recovery with another Wild Charge. So here, I did a dumb. I'll say it right now, I did a dumb. I feel bad for it because I thought about it earlier in the match, doing the same type of dumb earlier, but I decided not to because I was being smart. He goes for his Wild Charge here. I'm going to live it, and I decided to click, rest here, forgetting that the terrain would actually prevent me from doing so. If the terrain was not there, I would have been rested back to full health and could have Toxic Stalled this thing to death. Could have done, if he would have switched out into Raikou for some reason, done decent damage with Scald if I got that from Sleep Talk and stuff like that. But this thing will go down to Toxic and get a second kill for Zardex, which is really nice, but I'm really low health with this Milotic. If only the Misty Terrain left a turn earlier, could have got all my roost up, or all my rest back up, and walled the hell out of this thing. He now goes for the Leaf Blade because there's literally nothing I can do. I didn't want to switch in either one of my two heavy hitters into this with Sneasel or Braviary. I had to see which one what he would lock himself into, and with him locking into Leaf Blade and being +1, my only real switch into this is Braviary, and I had to click Brave Bird. It's not going to kill, but I had to click it, and he decided to switch out here, which I was very surprised of, because he could have killed me with something else, or 2-KO'd me with Guarantee with Leaf Blade. And outsped me, so that would have been really nice. But he goes into the Raikou, and I'm going to get a Brave Bird off on this Raikou, and we're going to see that the Scarf Brave Bird from Braviary is going to drop Raikou under 50%, and it looked to me like close to that could have been a 2-KO. It could be a roll for a 2-KO with Brave Bird, but I decided to switch out, play it a little safer. I knew Sneasel could take any one hit that wasn't Aura Sphere from this Raikou. He goes for the Thunderbolt, and now I realize I have to risk the speed tie to win this game, and we win it. We win the speed tie, we get the knockoff. He actually was max speed, and we do kill the Raikou. If he would have swapped out, say, into Kartana for some reason, expecting me to go for Ice Shard, he would have lost his Scarf, and Braviary could have won it for me. But with him going into Kartana here, I have to click Ice Shard. I have to get the chip damage because I think Braviary's Brave Bird to this does a max of 70, and I kind of needed either a crit Ice Shard or a really high roll. And we got kind of, I believe, a mid roll, and he does kill me with the Smart Strike, so that kind of sucks. And with him being at +1 Smart Strike, it does like 82 to 97% to Braviary. So unless he gets like the lowest of low rolls, because you see what damage we have, the lowest of low rolls, or me critting, he gets this game. And we see with the Smart Strike, he actually does kill me from there. So sadly, if he wouldn't have killed me, I would have had to run for a crit with Brave Bird to be able to even kill the Kartana. It wouldn't have been enough. I'm pretty sure he might have whipped him like, say, 5, 6, 7 health around there, and then just killed me with the follow-up, follow-up Smart Strike. So again, really good game to RTK and everything like that. I don't know why I said your name twice. I think I just messed it up in my head. But again, I still like the way we played it. We did what we needed to do with Dougie in getting rid of Nidoqueen, or getting rid of Nidoqueen turn 2. And then if it wasn't a Scarfed or Kartana, we could have got rid of that as well. That would have been huge, but sadly he was. Zard did the thing in Toxic Stalling down Arcanine really well, and Toxic Stalling Tapu Fini really well, and it still picked up a kill on Dragonite. It didn't get to Toxic the Raikou like it should have, but it picked up 2 kills out of the game. Milotic, I just misplayed hard with that rest. I should have just clicked, I should have either switched out at that point, which might not have been the best play, or I should have simply just clicked Scald and killed him, and not worried about it. I just misplayed by clicking rest. It didn't matter in the sense of me living the follow-up, revenge kill from Raikou. It makes me feel bad that I thought about it earlier and clicking Toxic with Zard against Raikou in the terrain, realized about the terrain to not do that, and then I do that with rest later down the line. If I was recover Milotic, it might have been something really cool there to actually keep going with Milotic a little longer. Garbodor, hell, he did a great job this match, getting Toxic Spikes up. Even if they were only Toxic Spike or Toxicking Tapu Fini, that's all it needed to. And then Rock Blasting Dragonite down to half, protecting to scout a little bit to see what Kartana would lock himself into and stuff like that. He did pretty well for what he needed to do. Braviary, sadly, wasn't able to shine fully. Probably could have risked 2 KOing Raikou, but I didn't. I feel like I couldn't risk Braviary like that when I could just bring in Sneasel and kill it with winning the speed tie. It was a risk on those last few turns for me to do one or the other, and I felt like I had no choice but to risk it one way or the other. But with Sneasel winning the speed tie was really nice to be able to take out Raikou and getting the chip damage on Kartana to have even the possibility of Braviary being able to win it out for us. So again, I feel like we did pretty well overall. Make sure you guys go check out RTK and his side of the battle and stuff. Links and everything will be down below to all the PPL people. Make sure you go ahead and join the PPL Discord if you are on Discord and stuff, so you can make sure you can, get up to date with the newest videos from all the coaches, be able to do predictions, be able to have spoilers if you want to have any of those before you actually see the battle and stuff like that. Anything along those lines. If you want to see that, go ahead and join the Discord and everything in the link down below, stuff like that. Make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed the battle and such. We're not doing well in the season, but we're starting to play better, I feel like, towards the end than where we were before. So, without any further ado, though, I'm going to get up on out of here. So, thank you guys for coming out. I'm Carson, this is Toxic Gaming. And as always, you guys stay toxic. I'll see you guys.